The first session this afternoon will be by Marin. And Anna is somebody that is a Toastmaster member. She served as a division director last year for, I believe that was Romania and Moldova. She's a distinguished Toastmaster and she works as a coach. She's a certified professional coach by ICF and EMCC. She's been working for communication for over 15 years now, and she's very good apparently at live drawing concept and using a flip chart to really enhance what she does and convey her ideas a lot better. Now, most of the time when I'm in a workshop and somebody is told to become the flip chart scribe, they say, oh, my handwriting is not so good, or my handwriting is CRAP. So that's kind of a certain reaction, but apparently drawing on a flip chart is actually pretty easy. And we're going to learn a lot more about this in the next, not hour, not half an hour. We're going to have 2 hours with Anna. With a workshop, flip and art your presentation with flip chart design basics. Let's give it to distinguished Toastmaster and professional coach coming all the way from Romania, Anna Marin.
Yay! Thank you so much, Florian, and thank you, Nick, and thank you, Victoria, for making this happen. Look at me, I have my glasses of a VIP. These are my training glasses because you can spotlight me anytime because they are red. Well, looking forward, this is my cat. She is my assistant trainer and she's, what can I say, addicted to Zoom? Well, she is because a few minutes ago she wasn't here. Now I'm live and she is here. So she's addicted to Zoom. Hi, everybody. Hope you enjoyed your lunch and looking forward to spend 2 hours together in an amazing Saturday afternoon. And now you should see the agenda of today. Already flip chart for my next workup coming up, Victoria. So guys, this is the agenda. We will talk a little bit and I would love to hear your words on the chat. Just type whatever you feel that you have something to share with us. I'll be happy to receive them and integrate them into my workshop. So don't worry, I try to be multitasking. I don't know if it works, but I'm trying. Okay, so this is the agenda. 1 hour, we will talk about the basic, what is flip chart design, what is visual thinking. We will have a vocabulary, a visual vocabulary, and some heavy icons. What are heavy icons? Coming up. Some directions and templates and sub-tips and play. What does it mean 1 hour of tips and play? Well, actually, you're gonna work on your flip chart. 1 hour, are we learning how to draw things? And 1 hour, we were going to draw things. So in order to participate actively at this workshop, you need to have at least 1 pen, recommending 2 different colors, but it's not necessary, 1 is enough, and at least 4 pieces of papers, because those pieces of paper, they're gonna stay with you and you can use them anytime you feel the need to rethink or to remember what happened today here, okay? So do you need a minute or 2 in order to get the materials ready? Give me a thumbs up if you feel ready. I'm guessing everybody's ready. Perfect. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Chat Master. Thank you, Florian. Okay, perfect. So we are going to start with what is flip chart design? Well, actually, flip chart design is called like that for the training perspective. But if you are a coach, if you are a speaker, or if you just think that you can find a different way to get some information, that is visual note-taking. What is happening? Actually, what you observe, and then you imagine, and then you draw. Instead of writing a lot of things, you draw concepts. So basically, when we are talking about communication, you can draw two people standing in front of each other, shaking hands with a bubble speech above them and some ideas there. But also you can write just a bubble speech that intersect with another bubble speech, which is also communication. Or you can draw anything you feel that is representing communication for you. Because in Flipchart design, you don't have to draw art. You just have to draw what is good and makes sense for you. Like this. Maybe you want to have a Flipchart design, so use your drawings when you are presenting to people, when we are teaching things. Or maybe you want to start a bullet journal where you can write down your notes for the day and draw them, not write them down. Or maybe you are a manager or a coach or a facilitator. Using what we are learning today here will make clear for people when you are facilitating meetings. Why? Because 95% of us, we are visuals. 80% of us, we are learning by seeing things. So basically, it's easier for us to understand when we see something drawn. Or maybe you are a speaker and you want to mesmerize the people with your mad drawing skills, which is also good because instead of explaining a metaphor, you can draw it and people will go, wow, I never thought of that. You can do that live because you're gonna see it how I'm going to do it live. Any questions until here? Or it's all so clear that you have no questions? Okay, so no questions. Perfect. Let's start with the basic. What is the basic? Well, actually, being basic means that we will learn how to draw people. How many of you are ready to draw people? How many?
Классную, вкусную грушу будешь?
Perfect, Svetlana.
Да, пошли скорее.
Totally agreeing with you.
Хочешь ее съесть? Где ты будешь?
Привет, Svetlana. Everything is okay there? Okay. So how many of you know how to draw people? I'm sure everybody knows how to draw, right? You are here because everybody knows how to draw. No. Well, I'll give you let's say some basic elements you need in order to draw people. Can you draw dots? You know, like simple dots? Use your paper and draw me 2 dots. And you can show them to me in your camera and see how amazing your dots look like. Share it with us, the dots. I'm quite sure they will be amazing. Dots usually are. 2 dots, perfect. Thank you guys, perfect. Now let's draw a line. Can we draw a line? It's like this or like this or like this. Doesn't matter, just a straight line. Perfect, thank you, Nick. Thank you, Rory. Now let's go to some hardcore drawing. Let's draw a circle. Can you draw a circle? This is the difficult part. And now let's mix them a little bit together and see what it works. So let's have 2 circles, one smaller and one bigger. And then we add 2 dots in the smaller circle and 1 curved line. And then we add some lines. That means that we have the person with legs and hands. Does it look like a human? It doesn't look like a human. Let me see, Nick. Why does it look like a human? Okay, so
Everything
perfect.
is human here, Anna. Everything is human.
Exactly. It has to have a resemblance. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can even draw it as a star. And instead of the upper part, you get a human. You can get it, you can get stick figures. Everybody loves stick figures. They are easy to make and everybody can draw them. Whatever you make, whatever you feel that it's not perfect, well, why should it be perfect? It's your drawing. If the people in front of your flip chart know that that is a person, there are people here, then it's perfect. They need to understand that what we are talking about. They don't have to be perfect. Let's go to places. When you think of places, usually you see this on the maps because now everybody is digitalized and we use a lot of Google Maps, and you see pinpointing places is like share location with me, and you see this. Whatever comes top of your mind, that is what you should draw. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can go with minimalistic style. That means only lines. No shadows, no details, just big and drawing the line. Let's imagine a building, a office building. How does it look like? It's tall and usually it's maybe square or maybe a little bit longer and on the upper part. So let's see. And if we are drawing also the earth, because the office building stays on earth, well, usually, we can go like this if you want to have a higher view. And then we make some lines because we know how to draw lines, exactly. We learned those. And we make also a big door. If we want to have something that is more particular, let's say we are talking about one big company. Let's say my logo. It's the company, my logo. We go here and we go my logo and add a square. And because it's lighted at night, we are drawing these lines that show that it's highlighted. Quite difficult, right? It's hard. It's very hard, I know. Don't give up. Stay with me. Give me another place you can think of that you think it's difficult to be drawn. Use the chat and just type the word there and we will work on that together. Any example is fine. Don't be shy. Seaside. Okay, what is happening at a seaside? When you are thinking of a seaside, what is the first thing that pops into your mind? Laura, give me what is the first thing that pops into your mind? Sun. Okay, what else?
The contour of the sea.
Sun, sand, the contour of the sea. Exactly. Okay, so how do we see? How we always see the sun? Basically when it emerges from the sea or when it goes down to the sea. So what we will draw the horizon. Then we will draw half of a circle. And we can make some nice sunrises. And what else? Because we are drawing minimalistic, remember, visual thinking, it doesn't have to be art because it's the basic elements that send the picture and the words to the person. Here is how we make it that reflects into the water. And now we draw some waves. And you know what else? Let's make it really hard. you know what I love on the sea? Usually when you see a palm tree, that it's so beautiful, and you can imagine yourself sunbathing under the shadow with a big cocktail in your hand. Let's draw the palm tree as well. That is the difficult part. You know, you see the line? I will draw here a little bit of sand by simply dots, and then let's draw the palm tree. That easy. Does it look like a beach? Not yet, because we don't have the sand. We only have the sand here, but we can also add some sand and some sand waves. And here is where the sea ends. If I'm doing like this, I can make the waves feel alive. So, Laura, does it look like a seaside to you? Is it something that you can draw as well? How is your drawing look like? Do you feel like sharing with us?
Well, this was my initial piece, so does not look like yours.
I cannot see it very well because it's like maybe because it's white and it gets with the background.
Just of the background, you will see.
Yeah, no, just take a picture and share with us in the chat. So if it's possible, but does it look a little bit about like the seaside? Let's see, Dorota. Perfect, perfect. See? Thank you, Dorota. Let me see if somebody else is sharing their screen. Okay, so, okay. Guys, let me know because I'm not seeing all of you at once. So if you are sharing something with us, please let me know in order to make sure that I'm seeing you. Okay, what are the places we can draw? Think about the things you need to use when you are presenting. Think about your job. And maybe you have a meeting at the office with your team and you need to present something. There are some places that you need open space. Okay, how do we draw open space? What do we see in open space? We see a lot of desks and chairs, usually with people. But now with the quarantine and everything, maybe not so many people at one place. So basically what we see is offices with people. My cat is talking with you, so ignore her. Okay. And you know what happens in open spaces? We have flip charts because everybody loves meeting and everybody loves to draw maybe something in the flip chart. Doesn't mean that they have style or not. They have to use the flip chart in order to present to everybody. True or not true? Dorota is smiling. Okay, so we'll have a flip chart as well. So we have a square, 2 lines, and here it's the upper part. You can have like this. And if you want to see that we have several other pages, we make here some other pages of paper. This is open space. And you know what? Maybe it's not, doesn't look like an open space. You know what makes it an open space? Now we know it's an open space. Easy as that. Okay. Let's go to things. You know what's my favorite thing to draw? I drink a lot of coffee. But I know there are people at the office who prefer to have tea. You know how I draw? What is the difference between tea and coffee? Well, with the tea, you get a small bag that needs to rest in the water. So you add this, you get a tea. Without this, you get a coffee. And it's only lines. It's nothing difficult. They don't have to be straight. You don't have to use a ruler. Does it make sense? It's easy. It can be done. Okay. What other things do you need to draw for your activities? Give me an example. Can we have another example? Open space, we've done it. Seaside, we've done it already. Let's see if somebody's, no, okay. Think of your activity at work or maybe in your Toastmaster club. There are some things you need to use there. Let's say that what is happening a lot in Toastmasters? We are talking a lot. And how do we talk? Well, preferably we use a microphone, but not all the time. This is a microphone. This is also a microphone. This is a microphone. This is the radio type of microphone. All I did here is just lines. A laptop or an iPhone, because we use them a lot in our activity. An iPhone, it's something that it's, I don't know the word in English, but it has a button and this is the glass. What else? Let's see a laptop. How do we draw a laptop? What do you see when you are looking at the laptop? You see two rectangular pieces. You see the screen, which has glass, and you see the piece where you have buttons. You have the space, which is basically, regardless of if you're using a Mac or a Windows computer, you have the space bar, which is large. You have the enter bar, which is large. You draw those and then you draw points that are, and if you want to add something else, you can add a mouse. How is this, Andrew? It works for you? Or even better, I'm thinking of a lot of Zoom meetings taking place these days. So let's draw a person here who talks. Because of course, in Zoom meetings, we always see somebody in front of our eyes. Any other examples? And now we are coming to the point where Florian was mentioning at the beginning. Everybody is afraid of the flip chart because my handwriting, it's not good enough. Well, you don't need good enough handwriting. Your writing is perfect. You know what's the difference? Well, you don't have to do calligraphy on a flip chart. You don't have to say like amazing and have all those beautiful things like this. No, what you need is just letters, and the best letters which allows you to be flourishing in flip chart are the caps lock. You know why? Not because you are yelling at people to pay attention, but because using cap locks, everybody has an amazing handwriting when they are using cap locks. And the best part you can see from the back of the room. When you are using cap locks, it's easy to stand out. I'm doing my flip chart very small, but you can see back of the room, it pops out. Brie, not so much. So when you are thinking, okay, I need to write down on the flip chart, don't start using small letters. Use cap locks and everybody will see them. And you know, one tips and trick, every time you hear that you need to write on the flip chart, think of the word big, no small. So big is what you want, small. Well, Dagmar, my brother is a doctor and sometimes he doesn't understand his own writing. So every time I need to have something writing from him, it's like, you know what? Use caps locks. Like, what do you mean? It's like, you know, write with big letters. I'll be fine with that. And yes, it's good enough because when he uses cap locks, I understand his writing. I don't have to think about it that much. So just a small recommendation is like, you know, please use the cap locks. I'm fine. I know you're not yelling at me. Or give them a sign. It's like, WhatsApp me. Does it make sense so far? Okay, now, maybe so far, you don't feel very comfortable in going with a lot of drawings. And it's okay. You can start with the schematics. Schematic style is when you make some easy drawings and draw the connections. This is schematic. It's abstract. It just shows basic forms and how relationships are formed in those basic forms. This is very easy to do, and I'm quite sure that when you are taking notes, you sometimes do this. And then this goes to something that I need to remember. Well, Ula, I'm glad you do, because we all have the creativity nerve, and we just need to work it a little bit. If you started with a schematic and you want to go deeper, you can go with metaphors. Let's see. When I draw a light bulb, what do you think? Hi, James, welcome. What do you think this means? It's just a light bulb, but when you see a light bulb, what does it mean? What does it mean to you? An idea. Idea. So we already have two answers of idea. I never mention idea, I just draw a light bulb. I woke up. Good morning, James. Thank you for showing up and drinking your coffee with us. So basically, what do you need when you are talking a metaphor? You need to think of what pops up in people's mind. What is well known to everybody, regardless if you are from Romania, from Poland, from UK. Everybody knows the light bulb. It's an idea. If I'm drawing this, and I add some red here, what does it mean? Do I have to be a driver to know what that means? Or basically everybody knows that when you are seeing this is forbidden, you're not allowed there. It's something that everybody knows. A metaphor is a way of drawing something that it's well known. It doesn't have to be with a lot of details, but it needs to be on top of mind and something that it's well known across the world. Let's see. What does this mean? Danger. Attention. How can I make the distinction? Because your birthright, it can mean danger, it can mean attention. If I'm adding here like this, it's something that pays attention, jumps up. So that could mean danger. Or I can use another color and add this. Without it, it can mean that pay attention. And if I connect them, those two, pay attention to my idea. Think of this. And even better, I can draw them together to make sure that everybody notices them. Difficult, right? I know, it's so hard. And then, now it's the hard part, where we are talking about what this metaphor means. It means it's an analogy with a common knowledge to everybody. It's an understood concept. So this is the easy part. You get schematic, which is what we do it already. Then we get the metaphor where we need to think a little bit about, okay, what does butterfly mean to me? It means freedom. It means beautiful. Does it mean that to everybody? No. What does it mean, freedom? Maybe a plane, maybe a car, maybe a passport. Let's think a little bit. But then we go to literal. Then, okay, what can I draw in order to understand that everybody I'm thinking of freedom? What do you think, Pixie? What should we draw when we are thinking about freedom? A cat, because a cat is always free, regardless what she or he is doing. But let's think of somebody who is running. Does it look like somebody who is running? Let's create some, oh, sorry. My cat is on my iPad. Okay, so let's get back. Do we have somebody who is running? Or somebody who is lying on a wall? But here, if we have somebody who is tired and maybe old, and let's see somebody who is running. Which one do you think is freedom? They can all be freedom. But you need to understand that you need to ask the people, what do they see? Do they see freedom in this? Let's see. Dorota, what is the meaning of freedom? Can you give me one example of a thing that represents freedom for you, or an action?
Movement. So for me, the last one.
So this one, it's freedom for you. Okay, Victoria, what is freedom for you? A, B, or C? You can type it down if you don't have to use the microphone. You can type it down. James, what is freedom for you?
For me, freedom is to be able to have free thought about different things, to contemplate without immediate judgment or categorization. because
Okay,
I think
so
it's very important for people to be able to think freely in this world.
we can draw somebody who thinks a lot and it's happy about it. Because he or she is allowed to free speech, to free think, to free act.
I like
They are just,
I like
yeah.
some of the I like some of the quotes from Voltaire from France, because I always thought he was an amazing person, because he believed almost to an extreme that people should be able to say what they want to say.
I will fight with you to have the right to contradict me.
Yeah.
Okay. So we had some elements. Now let's have them all together. This is a free flip chart. It has no drawing on them. When you are starting drawing and you are thinking of something to prepare for your workshop, you need to find directions. You always use directions. And I will have this split it in several flip charts, so I can give you some examples. When we are talking about directions, it helps you and helps the audience follow you through. And when I'm talking about direction, you can start a drawing from here and go like this. So you will have elements A here and then draw different elements that are representing your storyline. So it's like you're having a speech. You're starting from point A and you go through point B. But in order to reach point B, you need to have a red line, a thread that goes from A to B. And this is the directions on the flip chart. You can start, if you're the schematic type, you can start from the middle and then go with different elements on the board. What you can do, you can use categorizing. So I'm having here the big category, which is X files. And then from here, I have smaller categories, which are the movies, the DVDs, and the events where I can see people from X files. How does it sound so far? Can you do it? It's difficult, right? I know it's hardcore. Don't worry, we're getting there. Let's see, another way of drawing, because I like to get wild sometimes. You can start from here and go like this. So you get from here to here in a spiral. How do you connect this? You connect them with arrows. You connect them with colors. You can use colors in order to associate things, to make sure that people understand they are part of the same area. Does it make sense so far? Dorota, are you talking with us or are you explaining to somebody else what I'm trying to explain here?
I'm talking to Victoria, so don't pay attention.
Okay. Or even easier, use bullet points and have a blast with ideas. What else? Let's see. Well, you can start from A, go to B, go to C, go to D, and go to E. Choose your direction when you are thinking over the design and see what works for you. Because if you have a lot of information maybe this will help, or maybe this will help. But if you have little information and you just want to use the flip chart in order to stand out some information, then maybe this is the good choice for you. If you're talking about a journey, a leadership journey, or a speaker's journey, or a hero journey, maybe this one is for you, or maybe this one is for you, because when you are talking about a speaker's journey, you get a lot of stops, a lot of pauses where you are learning and you are thinking of what you have learned so far. This could be the stops where you are talking with your mentor and see what have you learned so far. Does it make sense? Okay. If it makes sense, then I will go with templates. You know what templates are? It's basically flip chart cheating. And you know why? Because drawing takes some time. And in order to make sure that you use the time right for the audience, you can use templates and have some drawings from home. As you've seen that I've done so far, I presented you some drawings that were already there on the board when I started presenting to you. So what you can do is, like when you're asking for feedback, I will also use this to represent several flip charts. So let's say you are asking for a feedback and you are thinking, I'm presenting to you something and I want you to use the flip chart to give me feedback. How are you gonna do that? I'm gonna draw a thermometer. It's not that difficult. And here is the plus and here is the minus. So plus means you loved it. Minus means go back and learn some more and then come to meet us. And somewhere in the middle are people who don't know what to think or how to react. And you have this drawn from home and you have your training or your presentation and you ask the people, you hand them maybe some Post-its, different colors. You can use here, let's say, yellow Post-its. You can use for, I don't know how I feel about it, green Post-its. And you can use go home, we don't like you, pink or red Post-its. And people can come and add them to your flip chart. Or if you don't have Post-its, just ask them while you turn around from them, away from the flip chart, so you don't see who is who and who is liking you, who is who doesn't like you, and ask them to check whether they like you or they didn't like you. You will interact with the people and you make them do some actions. And also you will collect them feedbacks. So basically you can draw this from home. This part is draw from home. And this part, you can add it at your workshop. Let's say that you have a presentation where you are talking about roots or beliefs. Well, it's easy. You can go away, please. You can use a tree because, you know, beliefs and the way we react to people comes from our family. So you can draw a tree and ask people to add information for you. Yeah, well, Ula, if I let her stay, she will hold the workshop for me. I need to be.
I know how it feels. I know how it feels. You're doing perfect.
Okay, so no worries. So this is another template that you can have from home. You can use icebergs. You can use roads. You can use whatever you feel comfortable that you are talking about, because we were talking about the road of a speaker. Well, you can draw it like this. Sorry, give me a second to choose the color. Okay, you can show it like this. And here you become a DTM. You are the son of Toastmasters when you become a DTM. So in order to get here, you have some stops to do, or some maybe stones to pass. This is a way to explain to somebody how they can become a better speaker, a better leader when they join Toastmasters. Is a road they need to take. You can draw it this from home and then add the stepstones or the pit stops during your workshop or your presentation, because you can do it while you are having a speech. It's a way of interacting people. Here, when you are talking about pit stops or stones, who are you thinking? Who can help you to understand your road better? And people will say, well, my mentor, my club, my VPE. And you interact with them and they will love, because you will collect the ideas from them. Does it make sense so far? Let's go to tips and tricks. Because what are the tips and tricks if not what we need to know when we are talking about amazing things? So let's see. What do you need? First of all, you need to have a visual library. And one, visual library. And remember at the beginning when I was talking about heavy icons, where heavy icons are the ones you use the most. So think of the things you say and you use a lot in your speeches, like ideas, taking notes, drawing, and create the drawings for what you need and how you use them most. Let's see. Give me an example of a word you use a lot. In your work, in your speeches, in your volunteering work in Toastmasters.
Maybe. I love the word maybe.
Maybe. How would you draw that?
I don't like saying no. I like saying maybe.
Okay, so let's say,
I guess
because you
maybe
don't,
there will be a question mark in there. And maybe there will always be a question mark symbol.
so maybe just a question mark, or I'm giving you a maybe, I'm giving you a question. It depends.
Or a symbol of someone shrugging. That would be difficult to draw. A shrugging gesture.
Like this, maybe?
Like that. Yeah, like that.
So it's difficult to draw this one?
It's not that difficult. Maybe it's difficult at 4 in the morning. but that works. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Another one. Let's create your visual library now, because you need to understand what you need to draw a lot in order to get fast with it. Okay?
That drawing that you did, I could imagine that question mark being in a cloud, like a bubble above the head, even.
Okay.
Because it's thinking.
I'm thinking about it. Depends. In consultancy, we don't say maybe, we say depends.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So make a list of the words you use most often, and then think of visual ways to represent them. Also, the second step you need to take is what are the metaphors you can use. Like, say, this one represents growing. This one represents giving. You see that only by a different element, it changed the meaning. Basically, the hand is the same, but I'm changing one element and it becomes a different thing. Also, this one. There are two, I don't know how you call them in English, but they work together in order to make things happen. And if we are using arrows, we can see that they are mixing together. And this can mean connection. This can mean team.
Looks like gears. It looks kind of like gears.
Gears, exactly. But in order to work together, they need to, how should I say? They need to fit together. And the team, in order to work together, they need to fit together. Does it make sense? Okay, I'm seeing nodding, so basically I can understand that it makes sense. Okay.
Maybe another term, but that's more of an expression, is the term in English, it's like clockwork.
Clockwork,
because a
exactly.
clock has those parts inside it.
Exactly, exactly, the mechanism. It works like clockwork. Okay, now think of the metaphors you use most often. It's like teamwork. We get a team and then we make some hands between them because they work together. And here we can say work, or here we can say teamwork. Thank you, James. Enjoy the rest of the day for you, because it's I understand it's early in the morning. Have a cup of tea or have a cup of coffee on us, and I'm looking forward to meet you again.
Thank you. It's 5:30 a.m. here.
Well, enjoy your early day. Bye, James.
Bye.
Okay. Another tips and tricks you need to have. It's like, okay, can you like move so I can draw? Thank you. There you go. There you go. Emotions and connections. When we are talking about emotions, because we saw how to draw a person, but when we are thinking like, okay, it's a sad person, it's a happy person, everything changes with just one line. As you saw, we have the eyes, the window of the soul. We can make a happy person, we can make an undecided person, and we can make a sad person. We can make a really sad person if we draw like this. Or we can make an in love person just using. Think of the emojis you are using while you are typing on WhatsApp or on Facebook. Those are super easy to draw. Use those. Everybody will have them top of mind. So let's see somebody who is really enjoying. Don't go overboard. Don't think too much. Just go minimalistic. Does it make sense? Okay, tip number 4. connections. Use arrows, use dotted lines, use normal lines, or you can use connectors by colors, because if we are using the same colors or the same shape, people will make the connection. They will understand that these two are part of the same family, while these two are connected as a second family. Does it make sense so far? Okay. And another tips and tricks is when you are writing down and you need to have a, how do you say it? It's, well, I will draw and you will figure it out because I cannot find the word in English. So let's say I'm drawing home and I want to make this a road trip sign. How am I gonna do it? I'm gonna write the word, then I'm gonna do, anytime you want to have something draw around the word, draw the word first, write the word first. Don't do like this. Don't do the sign first and then try to figure it out how you're gonna write down in those signs. Do the writing first and then add all the other elements you need to do. Does it make sense so far? Yes, no? Go home. Stay with us a little bit. Okay. Let's see. Do you have so far all the elements that you need in order to play? Now, you will have to draw your own flip chart. Imagine what is your next project. Research sport. Okay, Victoria. So this is a presentation or this is a speech or a speech. Okay, perfect. So you want to use Flipchart design in order to represent research sport in your following speech. Okay, what are the main subjects what did your research show up so far? How to do research in Rally. Okay, so what would be the perfect icon for research? Because we can start with how you started the research. What would be a perfect icon for research? Anybody can join in. It's not a conversation between me and Victoria, it's a conversation with all of us. So feel free to join in. Some measurement instruments, okay. What else? What I usually, or some bottles from chemistry lessons. What I use when I need to do research or I need to follow up through something, it's a magnifying glass. You know, from the computer, when you are giving somebody to think, it's like the magnifying glass. But also I use this. Like Victoria said, some chemistry bottles. These are the easy ones to draw. And if I have time, I add different colors. And I make sure that are happy colors. chemistry class. Exactly. Okay, so we have research. What else? We have sports, because we are talking about sports. Do you have some sports that you're gonna mention, Victoria, in your speech? Or is it something that it's related to everything? It's just all the sports out there. It is about car racing. Okay, super. So we have a car who is driving really fast. And this is not a sport car racing, but I can draw it similar. I don't know how to drive a car, how to draw a car racing car, so we will go with this one. So I'm having a research and I find some things about car racing. How the car parameters like a chair position impact on results. Okay, super. So we will have a chair. Here we'll have the wheel and some pedals. And also we'll have the airbag. And because we are talking about speed, we will have a speed meter. And how do you know that it's quite speedy and we are in the red zone? So the car is driving really fast. Does it make sense? We have the speed meter, and if maybe not everybody knows how the speed meter looks like, we can have here speed or speed. Or we can have here kilometers per hour or miles per hour, depends on the country you are driving in. Okay, so let's see, Victoria, what else would you need for your speech? What other icons can you share with us? Can you share your drawing, because this is about your flip chart, and how would your flip chart look like? The results depends on the car shape, okay? So, perfect. This is great. We have 3 types of cars, which what will represent is depending on the car shape. So, this is a great design. What would it be to have a template, and as you go through your speech, Victoria, could you do that? So basically you go there with only one element, and then you add the elements, or you draw the elements during your speech. Okay. But what you can also do is draw the podium, draw the scale first, and then use post-its of different colors and draw the type of cars on there, and just use the post-its to flip them, to add them on the flip chart. So basically you get the podium with scale, and then you add them as you speak of each type of car and use them there. When you are talking about flip chart design and facilitating using visuals, think of post-its. Think of drawings that you can draw from home and then add them to the flip chart. Don't be afraid, it's not cheating, it's just preparation. And the impact on the audience will be the same. Rory, can you use anything from here, from today?
Yeah, no, I love the idea of using little pictures and actually drawing dynamically as well. The only concern I have so far is obviously the next few presentations I'd like to do, I'd like to be on Zoom, and I'm wondering about how to effectively do what you're doing with the iPad to give me that interactivity. I need
Give me
to
a
experiment some
second.
more.
Give me a second. You know that in Zoom you get whiteboard.
Oh,
And
yes.
and
Yes, you do. I've
you
never
can
used it.
use and you can use whiteboard to draw things there. And just use your pads to draw it. If you don't have an iPad, you can use the pad to draw, or you can use it from your iPhone or from the normal phone. Use the whiteboard to interact with people. Does it make sense?
It's fun stuff. Yeah, yeah.
And also, this is funny because you can use a lot of things to work on the whiteboard, and you can also write down and ask people to vote. I have sent the kids on a treasure hunt. Yes, please, Christian, share with us.
Right. Thank you for sharing. It's very interesting what you're doing, and I apologize for any background noise that happens. I'm looking at what you're doing. It's unique in terms of the Zoom life that we're having at the moment, because a lot of people expect a professional type of background. When I'm looking at yours, it brings me back to my childhood, and I'm connected more. So I'm going to use this type of animation and narrate my own stories, even when I'm doing professional deliveries. People like to be entertained, and it's very entertaining, this style of animation, which we tend to forget. And I need to mute because the cyclones are back, so apologies for that.
Don't worry, come on, it's Saturday. Feel free to share, it's okay. Kids are awesome, don't worry. Share your story, continue please.
Yeah, but usually when I deliver stories at professional training courses, it's always about my life. And there's always like a challenge that I have to overcome. It's very easy to put those stories, those moments in animation when you think about it. And what you've shared so far, I mean, it clicked when I was looking at it. It really clicked. It's something I'm looking forward to doing. And I'll share my next recorded speech with you, and you can just give me some feedback if that works.
Super, looking forward to it. Thank you. Okay, anybody else wants to join and share their stories or share what their future flip chart would look like?
So
okay.
my biggest challenge is scales, because when you talk about a billion, you know, a million and a billion, and megahertz and gigahertz, these numbers are so big, they're very hard to visualize. So I'm trying to find ways to capture that sense of.
You get that by comparison. So basically, how do you show something that is really big? Well, you draw a little person, and then you draw something big nearby, and you get the scale. So you get by comparison. And what you can do, because you are talking about speed, if I understood correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so basically, how fast can a car go? And you get a car, and it goes like, let's say 200 kilometers per hour. Not legally speed, just how fast they can go. How fast does the sound travel? What is the sound? It's like this. And you get speed. And I don't know the sound of speed, but I don't know the speed of sound, but, and you can have 1, 2, 3 maybe types of speeds, and then you can compare them, and then you talk about about your information. It's like, okay, can you imagine this? Can you imagine that? Well, think about this, and it goes huge or small, or does it make sense?
Mm-hmm. Can
you work with it?
Yeah. Because I'm just mulling how to actually then what to actually do rather than how to represent it.
And then you go is, how fast do you think a computer works? It depends on the RAM. Okay, does it make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You know that it can not make sense. It's okay to tell me.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you work with the doodles?
Yeah, I will.
Okay. Super, Rory. Thank you. Okay. What I will share with you, because maybe you think it's difficult at this point, but as you saw, we are using just the basic and we are using a lot of minimalistic way. And if you are thinking of a subject or you are thinking of an element and you don't know how to draw it, Google is your friend. Pinterest is your friend. Instagram is your friend. Just search for the element you are looking for to draw and see what works. And use just the lines. Imagine if you have to draw, we were talking about an engine and Alex was talking about the engine, how the team of officers work. You will not draw the whole engine. You will draw just the lines, the outlines. And everybody will understand that if it's an engine. If everybody understands an engine, then your job is done. And I will share with you two of my Pinterest boards, and you will see that I have a lot of elements there, and you can use them as interests, and you can use them in order to search for elements when you are in doubt. And I was talking in the beginning of this workshop about bullet journaling, which is a way of using doodles in creating your own agenda or your own journal. I don't know if you are familiar with bullet journal method. It's a book written by, I have no idea the name. It will come back to me. And he is using visual aids in order to do time management. So you can add what we drawn together today to time management, training, public speaking, facilitating meetings, Toastmastering. What else? Coaching. Yes, Ryder Carroll. Thank you, Christian. Okay, so the bullet journal method from Ryder Carroll. Christian wrote it on the chat. You can read it. It's a very interesting book, and it would help you with your time management if you have I don't know, some challenges in that area.
I have a question. Maybe I was too late and I missed the tools. Maybe we can, or you already did it, share tools, the best tools to use online for this, for drawing.
What I can suggest is, because the whiteboard from Zoom, it's the easiest way to use it, and it also incorporated, and it allows people to vote or to add to your drawings. If not, you can use the Jamboard. The Jamboard from Google, it's also a tool where you can draw using the pad of your laptop, or if you have an iPad or Wacom tablet, you can use that to draw on the Jamboard. And other than that, these are the tools that I'm using usually. So I'm using the iPad with Procreate application. I have an iPad Pro, and everything later than 2016 iPads, they have the ability to use a pen and to use Procreate on them. I use the whiteboard for facilitation and for doodling. and the Jamboard. These are the three applications that I'm using. The whiteboard and the Jamboard are free. The iPad, well, you need to buy the iPad, which is not free. But also the Procreate is one in a lifetime fee, and I think it's 15 euros or something, 1.5. I mean, it's quite affordable, and you can use it to create videos. You can use it to create doodles like you've seen that I use today. And also you can have a flip chart behind you and use that during your trainings. But that will have to allow you will have to make sure the design of the presentation and how you stand in front of the camera will allow the people to see what you are writing on a flip chart, if you have a physical flip chart. Also make sure that the camera captures a lot of your information. And that was all from me. Looking forward to meet you in a Toastmaster meeting. And Florian, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anna. Wow, what an interesting workshop. Very actionable. I took a lot from it. I'm one of these first people that's like, nah, I'm not so great at drawing, but actually now I feel empowered and I actually feel like I could potentially just stretch myself a lot more when it comes to drawing and all these things. So thank you very much, Anna, for this really, really useful workshop.